I was chatting to one of my clients the other day about tendons, and she turns to me at the end of the conversation and says, I don't know what tendons are. So I thought I'd make this video. Tendons are the things that attach your muscles to your bones. So take my bicep for example. This is the muscle belly, and this part here is the tendon. So this muscle actually attaches into this tendon, and then this tendon attaches into the bone. But why are they so important for longevity? And the biggest reason comes down to something called inhibition. So within your tendons, there is something called the Golgi tendon organ. And what this does is when this organ senses too much tension in the tendon, its job is to switch power off in the muscle to prevent you from getting injured. But what can happen when a tendon gets chronically weak and even damaged is that Golgi tendon organ is so ready to switch on that inhibition becomes almost a part of daily life. But the good news is there are a lot of amazing things that the tendons do, and there's some really great ways we can train and target them. So that's what I'll go through in the rest of this video. Now, one really cool thing about tendons is that I'm sure some of you have heard that as you get older, your muscles atrophy and you lose a certain amount of muscle per year. And this is true. But what's great about the tendons is that this loss of tissue happens much slower in the tendons. So although you might lose muscle, your tendons can stay strong and healthy for a much longer time. And this is one of the main reasons they are so important for longevity. I think of your tendons as like a savings account or a retirement fund. If you deposit small amounts of energy in the form of exercise into your tendons regularly and safely over time, you're essentially building up a retirement fund inside of your body. So when your muscles become less energetic, smaller and atrophied, you've still got your tendons there that are going to help you spring and bound through life. Which leads me on to my next point. I've already told you where the tendons are in the body, but what are the tendons actually like? So the tendons are really springy in nature. Imagine a cheetah running at full pace. The cheetah doesn't have big muscles. It has big tendons, and the tendons act like springs. This is why you can see sometimes older people with smaller muscles, but they can still bound and spring through life, and they seem really strong. That's because they have invested into their tendons. So how do we actually train the tendons? There's not a huge amount of secrecy around this. You train your tendons when you exercise, but there are ways we can target the tendons more directly, and that is using isometrics. When we hold an isometric, our muscle contraction stays the same, so more of the tension goes onto the tendons. This is a great way to train the tendons in isolation as a supplement to resistance training. Now you might be thinking, why am I squatting for this entire video? And that's to go back to my point about inhibition. My legs are getting quite tired now, and my body is telling me that I should probably stand up and get out of this resting squat position. And what's really happening is it's my Golgi tendon organ that is telling my muscles that I need to move position and they need a rest. And this is going back to the point of why it is so important to train your tendons. If you don't train them, they will get weaker and weaker and weaker. That Golgi tendon organ is going to be more and more telling your body, oh, you shouldn't move, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that is where your total body mobility just reduces and reduces and reduces. And that, in the end of the day, is the enemy of longevity. So yes, to increase longevity, tendons are very important. And that is why I'm teaming up with my mother, who is also a personal trainer and has been doing it much, much longer than me. We are putting together a program where we train our tendons, we train our muscles, and we train our fascia. And we do this in a nice balanced way, so you're not wasting any energy and you're doing just the right amount so that you can invest into your own body and reap the rewards that your tendons will give you, hopefully for a very, very long time. So to hear more about that, follow the links in the description or ask me any questions you have in the comment. It'd be great to see you there. Now my legs are getting very tired now, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you for watching. See you later.